volleyball athlete, but he can certainly do the job. Good pass from Poland, again out wide. Widerski makes the play, but Granvorka picks it up for France. Chance for Marquet, and he works that nicely off the outside hands of the Polish block.
Yeah, did well in a difficult position. Marquet, we were saying early on that sometimes he does reveal a bit of frailty in his game, but under pressure there, did extremely well to take the wipe off. Excellent work behind the block by way of defence by Granvorka. Ball out wide, well set block. Just squeezes it off the shoulder of the line blocker.
Next rally in progress. Eno, the French libero, forced into action, picks the ball up, and he creates the points there. And two defensive plays creating 2 points for France.
Yeah, and also quite convincing work out of the back row from Granvorka. It's the French have good variety in their offence, and particularly their broken play offence when it's not either set up from service reception. It's quite impressive, but you still get the feeling that the absence of Chambertin has made a difference to the overall quality.
Well, the pass too tight there for André Stelmark. And as he jumps to try to make the set, he drifts into the net. That's 8 points, so that's the end of the first phase of this match, and another technical timeout for the teams. Eight-5 then. A 3-point lead for the French, and already Philippe Blanc talking differently to his squad. Much more technical information going across there as they listen in. But at the moment, even though they're in the lead in set 3, they seem to be just a couple of players short. They maybe don't have the depth in terms of the squad to bring on, and the first time we've seen that man, Laurent Chambertin, warming up on the sidelines.
Yeah, the Laurent Chambertin, the guy with dreadlocks who is the apex setter. First time he's actually got off the bench. He's got his tracksuit on still, even no indication really of his level of fitness in terms of whether he can come onto court. But if this game goes all the way, which potentially it has the potential to do, then there's got to be some very, very tired players out there if they've got a restricted bench to run.
Well, so much psychology, so much kidology goes on in world volleyball. You're just never quite sure which players are fit, which players aren't fit. You would have thought, though, in such a crucial game, that Laurent Chambertin would have started for the French team. Good pass in from Wojcik, the Polish player again, sets up the options for Stelmark, the setter.
Yeah, goes over the French block and straight into Granvorka, who was doing the line cover in that situation, and got the ball pounded into his chest.
Superb kill from Papka. Number 14, Pavel Papka. And a good serve again from Poland. 2 touches called there. Lekar under pressure, not able to make the set. And a great serve. A change there from Stelmark, going away from the flat-out power. Just using a bit more finesse on his jump serve to guide that one in. Make things difficult for the French receive. Again, Lekar forcing the ball to Montmey. But Montmey coming up with a good set.
Yeah, unlucky. That was good counter-attack play by the Poles and good post-block defence by both teams.
Number 12 then. Luc Marquet serving for France. France still 9-7 up in set 3. And a great serve from him, an ace. Possibly a question that the ball was going out. Widerski just checking his court position.
Yeah, you see basically a row of 3 receivers. The back row hitter is, you'll see him on the left side, but not involved in the reception. And if you can take the right side player further to the right, it's always going to be difficult to deliver the ball. And that's what Marquet is doing. He's trying to take 13, Widerski up high and away to his right.
Clever work then from the experienced Luc Marquet. This time Wojcik makes the play, and we see that crossover again.
Yeah, and in that situation the ball was hit middle of court, and often with jump serves it's relatively easy to receive the ball in the middle of court because you have good vision of where the setter is, and the angles off the arm are probably more forgiving to slight errors of contact.
Ball reverts to Poland. Widerski. 2 points down. Granvorka comes up with a big shot across court.
Yeah, he needs a big set. Granvorka, he was very quiet in the previous one, and he made a lot of difference to the potency at the net for the French and from the service line. They're relying on him now. A few substitutions on the Polish side, trying to strengthen the reception unit. Swiderski off, being replaced by a reception specialist.
So that reception specialist, Rafał Musalek, 28-year-old player on court, and a great pass in from him, worked exactly right and worked round the French block by the Polish middle hitter.
Yeah, Stanislavski did excellently, took off, faded. It's very difficult to get a block line on an attack like that, where you're coming on a very tight diagonal and the middle blocker seems to fade as he hits and then cuts it back to the right side. Excellent first tempo offense.
Great pick up from Poland. Keeps the ball alive. A three-man block though from France. Another chance to kill. And this time Poland make it off the block and Dakan can't control the ball in.
Yeah, excellent commitment from the Polish team. Good smash cover. You see the players not actually involved in the hit, looking as if they're interested in recycling, which you see there. The ball goes up to Stelmach, the ace setter. So he's got good hands. The ball goes out and the French block unable to contain. Good broken play work from the Poles.
Well, a one-handed pass this time from Eno, the French libero player. And it looks like Poland are starting to serve impressively again. Again, the back set, and what a cracking put away.
Yeah, Pavel Papke, who's been substituted for Petr Gruška as the opposite player, is settled well. And again, despite relatively, he's not that big at 196, but he's beginning to function well out of the back row and when needs be out of the front line.
Well, interestingly, Gruška, the top spiker on the World League this year, picking up $7,500 worth of pocket money for his troubles, but currently sitting on the bench, Pavel Papka on, and that's possibly the indication that the Polish team has better strength in depth than the French.
I think that's right. Certainly Andrzej Stelmach's presence on court for the previous setters, Paweł Zagumny, has made that difference, and when you can take a smasher of the quality of Gruška off and then replace him with another opposite player who's come on and has settled extremely well in the form of Pavel Papka, then you have got depth on that bench.
Teams back out onto court then after that timeout. It's 11 points all and one set all. Really difficult to separate these teams. Luc Marquet trying to separate them with that wonderful backcourt hit.
Yes, again a 30-ball attack. That's the middle of the back row. But these days the ball is put pretty much into the front row to hit, so providing you take off behind the 3-meter line, you can contact the ball inside that zone, and didn't he do it well then?
An ace from France, from Laurent Capet. Capet not had the best of games at the moment, but a great ace serve just when France needed it, and that restores a 2-point lead from them over Poland. And Poland forced into a timeout. 30 seconds for the coach Waldemar Wspaniali to sit his teams down and have a chat to them. How do you keep your teams focused? How do you keep your teams concentrating, Nick?
Yeah, it's very. One of the things that you have noticed with the increasing number of timeouts that are available is the game does it sort of segmented, chopped up into smaller and smaller parts. And if you're giving players specific information or specific things to focus on during those periods, then maybe that will help. It's quite clear to the French at the moment that they've suddenly found a rhythm, and more importantly, Graham Walker is firing, which he wasn't in the previous set. So from the coaching point of view, is just keep doing what you're doing. From the Poles, they have to get the side out here.
Well, with Laurent Chambertin missing, and Dominique Dakan, the French captain, not having a good game, a lot of responsibility is on Graham Walker. Good timeout from the Polish coach, forces the service error once again from France.
Yeah, the coach Spanielli will be very happy with that. There was an excellent timeout, sufficiently so to disrupt the server, and it was given a straight point to the Poles, and now Papka has the option of punishing it even further.
Good serve from Papka. That's rescued very well in the backcourt by Luc Marquet. Ball set wide again and hitting across his body. Murek rather expansively missing out over the French sideline for Poland.
Yeah, be disappointed with that. Stelmach, yeah, reasonably good set. Everything was available for the right-hander. He goes for the tight cut down the line, as you can see, but yeah, too wide.
Well, at this level of volleyball, as we've said, these European Championships are quite literally world-class. At this level, you cannot afford to miss even 1 point, because it comes down to just a difference of 2 points in most of these sets. What a kill. We've seen that a couple of times already this tournament. Novak going off one leg. Incredible finish in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, Wojcik, the libero's reception was amazing. It was a nice little slide attack, but particularly it will be psychologically damaging because particularly against the French, Granvauca at the moment is seen as the key hitter from the service line at least, and that was wonderfully received by Wojcik. Yeah, excellent attack too.
Great work, and it's David Murek with the jump serve for Poland, and Dakan for France comes back through the middle and replies in style.
Yeah, he's had a quiet game, but that was a very important point. The post block for the Poles was quite tight, so the back 2 metres of court was available, and Dakan cuts it wide, left and deep for the point.
Well, what's impressed me about Dakan is he's not having a good day. He's having a shocker, in fact, out on court, but he has kept his composure and he's kept doing his captain's job, and I'm sure coach Philippe Blanc will be impressed with that, and that's what allows teams to get back and get themselves side-outs like that. Timeout once again forced on Valdemar Spagnoli.
Yeah, this is the second of the 2 technical timeouts, which again gives the Poles a welcome breather. They mustn't think that this game is gone. I mean, the previous set, they really steamrolled the French in the latter half of the set. And what they have to do really here is concentrate on getting rock-solid serve reception for the next 3 French serve options. If they can side out 1, 2, 3 and really work on their post-block game when they're serving, then they can close this gap. This is not a big gap at this stage with the potential that Poles have.
Well, just an illustration there of Marcin Novak's height, the number 4 player for Poland. 2 meters and 15 tall, and he just head and shoulders over the rest of the teams. The guys that he's standing next to are all 6'4", 6'5", but he is just huge, 7 feet 1 tall. And he is a real physical presence at the net, but at the moment, the quick, the clever French with captain Dominique Dakan have just got the upper hand in set 3. Novak, though, with the kill again. They've gone to him several times under pressure. Yeah, that was not an easy one to handle from Novak as well. It was he was having to sort of lean back to take the contact, and he went high off the French block for the point. Yeah, tough play to make, but it was welcome. That is Marcin Novak, number 4, with the serve for Poland. Just 2 points down in this set, and a good kill from Monmé. Yeah, in the same way as we were talking about what Poles had to do at the timeout, the French have settled into doing exactly the same. Rock-solid reception from Granvauca and a really crushing side out. Now the Poles have to reply, take it first time off Lecas. Doesn't have a strong serve. Well, Stelmark really arching his back to get the ball on the reverse to Papka. And the ball was hit long, and that's not what you want. Everything was set up for the back row offense. The line was open. Ball long. Well, once again, Stelmark feeds wide, this time to Swiderski. Swiderski, not the biggest of players on court, but really gets up off the floor. Huge jump from him, buries it across court. Andrzej Stelmark, though, has definitely settled this Polish team down. 29 years of age, 178 caps, plays for Team Yahoo in the professional league. Serve from him, great pass though from France. Good defence, they somehow keep the ball alive. The referee though thinks the ball is down on the floor. He says he's seen it down on the floor. You know, that might look a bit controversial, but it was fairly clear from the point of view of the first official who was best sighted to see it. That's first official was Zanovic, but the ball was down. It's a nightmare often, particularly when those sort of defensive actions occur on the first official side. Second officials must be about 8-9 metres away. They can't see whether the ball has gone as players try to slide their hand under the ball to keep it live. Well, that play's called a pancake. It's the last possible extreme in defence. You lie flat out on the floor, you put your hand on the floor, and you hope the ball hits it. Looked to me like that one was up. Not so sure about the second one. There's the dispute. The Polish players just not happy with the first official as the ball is transported back over the net. But he's strong, he's solid. That's what the players want. They want a referee that gives his decision, and he's happy about the decision he's given. Doesn't have any back chat from the players. And you see the players very often going back. There's very little use of cards at this level. The players tend to referee themselves. France then still with that 3-point lead. Swiderski though with the serve for Poland. Unfortunately out over the sideline, he's upset with himself. And that gives France 20-16 in this third set. 4 points down in rally scoring. It's going to be difficult for the Poles to make it back. And they're not able to put it down first time, but the three-man block does the job, makes up for it.
Yes, exactly what we were just about to say, that the Poles need an inspired 5 minutes. They decided to go three-man on the outside. There was really only the one option. That was good enough. The next three Polish servers in succession, Stanislawski, the substituted opposite player, and Murek, and they all have strong jump serves. If they can get a bit of rhythm going here, they could sneak this.
Well, the car must have had some sandwiches at the last time out. A little bit of butter on his fingers there, going straight through and hitting him in the head. Never a pleasing experience for a setter, trust me. Chance then for another point for Poland. This time the car gets the set right, goes reverse. What a pickup from Poland! And just drifting out over the sideline. That was close.
Yeah, despairing attempts behind the block to keep the ball live, but it was good. Substitution to the French side. They know that they're at an important phase of the game here. The setter's coming off, front row setter is coming off, being replaced by the block strengthening Barka Sazik, who will probably have a one-ball function in this game. Can the French block defend the serve, and can they get the ball into transition?
So Laurent Capet with the serve for France. It's a good serve. It's overpass for Decan, and Decan, the captain, puts that one away, and he likes that.
Yeah, what a time to come up with probably the best serve from the French line we've had for at this latter half of the third set.
Philippe Blanlem will be pleased with the French players. It's Poland that have been forced to call that timeout to try and slow the French scoring up. But a great serve from Capet on that last play. And the overpass, meaning that the ball went past the setter on the Polish side, went back over the net to France, and it gave Decan a chance to hit. And we just saw in the corner of our screens there, Nick, Chambertin has got his shirt off.
Yeah, Chambertin for the first time seems to have at least stripped the tracksuit off, which may be suggesting that if this game gets any tighter, and it's difficult to imagine how it can, then he may still yet have a role to play.
A good swing and a great pickup from France. Wonderfully watched by Grant Walker, just tracking that round the side of the net. That's legal now, providing you play the ball back outside of the aerials. And a chance again for them to kill with Barka Sazik, and he manages the wipe off.
Yeah, fantastic. That's a big play for the French. Excellent work from Eno behind the block as a libero, distributing beautiful ball into the setter, and well, the French are on fire at the moment.
Dakan, the captain, absolutely loves it. 23-18 to the French, a chance to go 2-1 up in this set. It's another overpass, and the Poles can do nothing to chase that one down. This is a great service run.
Well, they must be thinking, what need of a setter, the French? They've had the setter on the bench for the last 3 points. They've simply blasted, Capet has blasted away from the service line. The ball's never even crossed the net, and well, they're staring a 2-1 lead in the face here.
It is set point to France, 24-18. And the ball kept alive by the feet. Great use of the feet from the Polish player. A bit of football there from them, but a chance now to kill for Barka Sazik, and look at the fingers and the hands wrap over that ball from the Polish block.
No suggestion at all of the Poles that this set is gone, but the way they really grafted in that rally, and it was tight. They were under the cosh for most of it, but a fantastic finish by Papke at the end. But yeah, you can tell by the French reaction, they think they have this one in the bag.
And finally we see coming onto court Laurent Chambertin for France. He's on in the back line. There he is, arriving at the net, supplying the hitter, and straight away France do the job. The touch is called off the Polish block, and that is it. The crossed arms from the referee signalling the end of set 3, and Laurent Chambertin keeping the discussion going with the Polish players. He's a great competitor for France. He is a wonderful, wonderful player, and it's great to see him back out on court. And I'm sure in the same way, Nick, that we saw Stelmark coming onto court for the Polish team and just improving it for things, yeah, we will see things happening for Chambertin with the French. It's incredible, Nick, how important certain key players can be to certain teams. Chambertin is now on court for France, and already you can see the team pick up. Already you can see them looking excited again.
Yeah, he does. He is capable of galvanising the French team. That's not to say that Lecard hasn't functioned well. He's done admirably, and well, I suspect it's probably pressure he wasn't really expecting to receive. But without a doubt, the Chambertin is the first pick. He's not only is he technically highly proficient, but he is really a spark. This is some fantastic transition commitment from the Poles, leading to interesting use of the feet. You see that often when players are running away from the direction of the ball and as last-ditch defence.
Yeah, Zwiderski there trying to qualify for a different World Cup. And wonderful controlling volley from him with the feet, all legal now, of course, under these new rules. No, will be doing everything he can to make that happen, the big number 12. But the French so far with the advantage in this game, 2-1. If the French can take this set, they can take the game 3-1 overall, and that sets up what we think is going to be a juicy tie with Italy. We'll be showing that Italian game tomorrow, 18:30 CET. That, of course, is 17:30 UK time tomorrow, Thursday. We'll have a chance to see recorded highlights and see how France got on against Italy, irrespective of the result in this match. Although if France can take the game, then that becomes a real dog-eat-dog match, and the winner will possibly go through to the semi-finals. The Poles, though, with the block there at the first point of this fourth set.
Yeah, and straight away we can see that maybe the Chambertin's entrance in the tail end of that fourth set was just really to try to secure the set. Lecard's back on and functioning.
Well, Philippe Blanc there obviously knows his players extremely well, able to juggle Lecard and Chambertin like that, and both players giving him 100% out on court. Another overpass from Poland. Dakan with his second overkill. Wonderful shot from him. Vincent Monmy with a great float serve, makes it very, very difficult for the players to pass. Gets it up around the chest of the passers. But this time, good ball in, allows Stelmach to release Stanislavski through the middle, and it's Wojciech, the libero player, just coming on. Hope for us all, Nick. At 40 years of age, Wojciech is still playing international world-class libero volleyball.
Yeah, it makes a nonsense of the fact that your reactions and the pace and power that are required to play that role disappears once you get much past 35. He's been inspirational across the tournament so far, and if you can retain your fitness, you can continue to function in that role.
France then come out solid, but as in the last set, there was really nothing to tell between the two teams until the latter part of the match. Oh, unfortunate there, service error from Jean Molleret. 14 then, Pavel Papka on for the big Polish hitter Gruszka, and doing a very good job as well. As soon as we say that, he misses his serve out over the service line, and you can see the tension is setting in for both of these teams. This is an incredibly important set, and it needs someone to take hold of the game by the scruff of the neck and settle things down in set 4. Franz Granvorka then with the serve. And another huge ace, just splitting the libero player and Zwiderski on the Polish side, neither of them moving. We call that the old hubby-wife serve. No communication, straight down the middle of the court. And a great ace kill from him. That's exactly what Philippe Blanc, the French coach, will be looking for. 5-3 now to France. Another huge serve, this time Wojciech under it. And good play to Novak in the middle. They've gone to him under pressure again, Nick.
Yeah, but a good start by the French. They realise that this is the set that could secure them the match, and if it does, then it sets up an absolutely mouth-water against Italy. And there is just the faint suggestion that if that does happen, then the French could go through. But the Poles, as you can see already from the service line, they have no intentions of letting this game slip.
Absolutely. In the meantime, they've got a job to do in this European Championships. They are by no means dead and buried in Pool 2. And they'll be doing everything they can to stay in touch with the French in set 4. David Murek then with another serve. Oh, and the ball ricocheting quite nastily there off the defence, straight into the face of Zwiderski.
Laurent Capet, again, we've seen that 2 or 3 times in the game, hitting out of the back row when the ball is not, the rhythm to him is not very good. He virtually just jumps vertically and finishes the ball. Must have a fantastic arm, very, very powerful.
Pass into Stelmach. Stelmach feeds Novak again. Interesting that they go to Novak a lot in the early stages of the set, but sometimes that supply tends to dry up towards the back end of the set, Nick.
Yeah, I think it's a useful tactical thing to begin with, just because it keeps the block on. It's the other side of the net. They know that the middle blockers, and if they're trying to group middle block, that they have to stay tight on the middle, quick options and any combinations around the setter. And then when you've got the block tied down, then you can spread it around. But it does require an enormous amount of confidence from the setter to do that, and great vision.
Setter for France, Olivier Lecar restarts the match with the serve, and a wonderful block from Monmet at the net. Incredible reach from him.
Yeah, he's not a big man, but in the air he's so well balanced, and when he moves laterally and when he closes his shoulders and finishes the ball back onto the court, he does look fantastically well balanced.
Polish coach then, Waldemar Spagnoli, after the Polish team just threatening to deceive a couple of points earlier with a wonderful ace from David Murek. Again under pressure, a couple of great plays from France.
Yeah, interestingly, you see that the Polish rotations at the start, they've not done anything particularly impressive. They've maintained the same starting rotation across all the sets, whereas the French have gone around 2 rotations, which means the match-up on maybe some of those weaker rotations, particularly when we were seeing Novak functioning so effectively and essentially starting out at will against the French in 2 of their rotations, then maybe the balance has been tilted a little bit. Good tactical work from the bench.
Well, the Polish team lined up on the sideline. They're eager to get back on court. The French less so, taking their time, coming back on slowly. And remember what we've been saying, every time a timeout has occurred, it's put pressure on the following server. We've seen a lot of service errors. It's going to take concentration from France to make sure this ball goes in. It's Leccardo, not one of the high-risk servers. Left-handed float serve in to Stelmach, and a huge play. That's the best combination we've seen at the championship so far.
Yeah, that's nice. But one of the luxuries, of course, you can have when you've not got a lot of weight in the serve. The normal front court passer who would be swing hitting in that situation simply came out of it, and they passed on 2, freed him up, and he came inside the middle player for a very impressive combination.
And a beautiful kill. Surely no better sights in world volleyball than a perfectly delivered spike. It's Monmet again, though. Well, they're looking very relaxed out on court, Nick, the French, chatting with each other, smiling.
Yeah, 2-1 up, but it's going to be tight for them, and but they know they've been here before, they know they've done it against the Poles, and they've done that recently, and that will give them an enormous amount of confidence.
Ball spread wide by Stelmach. Oh, Monmet showing some setting capability there. Granvoorke getting the touch, but the Poles still managed to put that away. That was pretty cheeky from Monmet, the middle blocker.
Well, yes, you don't often see a middle blocker taking it aerial and going for the back set option. He did put it a little wide, fair dues, which meant that the right side front players you can see here didn't have a lot of work to play with. But yeah, impressive.
Good work from Swiderski for Poland, though. Manages to get the ball off the outstretched arms of Granvoorke, and it's Swiderski with the serve. Poland 8-9 down in set 4, a set they have to win to stay in this match. And a massive kill, and with plays like that, they have every opportunity. David Murek with the shot through the outside, straight onto the floor.
Yeah, but how much it hinges on the quality of the French setting. Lecard, they put the ball out to Granvoorke very wide. He had to go for a left-hand option, which suggests that the ball was too quick for him, and gave him the transition play. 9-all.
9-all in set 4 then.
And that's Granvoorke off the antenna.
Wonderful work, and the French forced into a timeout. Poland leading in set 4 after 8 minutes. 10 points to 9. 2-1 down in this match, but if they can win this set, then they are still in this game. They would force it into a 5th and deciding set, which of course will still be rally point to 15.
See Granvolka head buried in his hands under a towel. You just get the impression that sometimes he just looks straight through the coach. It all goes glassy-eyed and the shutters come up with Granvolka. And he is such a crucial player. We've seen him from the service line. We've seen him as the go-to hitter in front row. And he has to function. It's not a time where he can go quiet.
Granvolka, an interesting player. Looks like the sort of guy who needs to think about his game now and again. We see him really concentrating before he serves. The Polish fans, though, really enjoying themselves here in Ostrava in the Czech Republic. Their team playing very well here in the European Championships, but not quite getting the upper hand on France. Fine finish through the middle from them.
Yeah, Montmey, that was a good relief valve for the French. They needed that. They went to the A-quick, and the A-quick was good enough to seal the point. Granvolka was having a torrid time on the outside.
And a back row swing there from Zvidesky, and boy was he happy about that one.
Yeah, you just go, there was the real physical presence in that attack. There was no way that was going to do anything other than penetrate the French block.
Well, in all fairness, an important game it is for both teams, and both teams look pretty relaxed out on court. Jaroslav Stanislavski, the big number 12 for Poland, gets up, jump serve there, just barely controlled by the French. And a tight set, and it's a block finish from David Murek at the net.
Yeah, and also Novak was very much got a piece of that. That was an impressive display at the net. You've got a very strong serving option here, and if the Poles can hold this, they can put some pressure. Stan Skalowski tosses with the left hand, hits with the right, tends to take the ball down the line.
Another good serve, another recovery from France. They're still under extreme pressure. Another poor set, but this time David Murek touching the net on the block for Poland, and that's considered a fault, well spotted by the second official. On come the towel girls just to wipe up any of that sweat caused by the diving Luc Marquet. Laurent Capet then, who had a good run of serves in the third set. Float serve in, and what a block by Dakan, the captain. He's getting himself fired again, Nick.
Yeah, that was an interesting deployment of the block. Dakan traditionally, or more used to middle blocking, was put out left side to go one-on-one with the outside hitter because of the setter situation. Did the job very well.
Oh, great save there from Stelmark on the net, but it's another chance to kill for the French. Where's he going? Two fast attacks leave the Polish block absolutely stranded.
Yeah, nice and combination. There was an A-quick available and a C at front and back. A-tempo balls available to them, and block was absolutely grounded. And a free net, well finished.
Poland this time forced to take the timeout, and it's interesting how the timeouts are tending to dictate the game.
Yeah, it's been real ebb and flow based around these timeouts. You say it does tend often to disrupt the rhythm of servers or even receivers particularly, but it's too close to call just at the moment.
Well, information imparted to the players. Again, back out come Poland. David Murek trying to inspire his team, and so are the Polish fans. Look at that. Perfect. And some of the neutrals there. The Czech Republic just sat in front of the Polish contingent. But they're seeing some wonderful European Championship volleyball here in Ostrava. And another wonderful kill through the wing from Murek. Great distribution from Stelmark.
Yeah, just what they wanted to do, settle down, make sure they nail the side out, which is exactly what they've done. Now they're in a situation with Pavel Papke where they can exert some pressure.
Papke then with the float serve. Dakan choosing to take the pass. You won't see that many times. And a wonderful pick-up in defence from Poland, keeps the ball alive. Again, France cannot put the ball on the floor, and it's Murek with another swing, but what a great pick-up from Luc Marquet in the French back row. This is incredible volleyball. This time goes to middle back, and it's been given to France, a net touch on Poland, but you just don't see defensive plays like that every day.
Yeah, that was stunning volleyball. About a minute and a quarter of absolutely sustained brilliance by both teams. Fantastic work in defence behind the block. There was not easy hitting in transition. They were putting weight into the contacts. Excellent post-block retrievals, and well, yeah, just a joy to see.
Well, you can see both teams blowing quite hard there. It really does take its toll at this level. Fitness is, of course, incredibly important. And Grandvorka unloads on that service.
Yeah, didn't we just say at the last time out that it's difficult to really get an insight into his temperament? He just sits and stares. When he gets to the service line, he's very, very precise about his setup. But when he unleashes it, that ball comes over with a lot of heat. They're trying to strengthen, as you can see, trying to strengthen the reception unit. And they've got to take this ball off Grandvorka, or this set could be away from them.
Oh, just misses. Good eye from the Polish team. Sometimes you want to leave the ball because you just don't fancy touching the damn thing, but that was a huge serve, well judged by the Polish receivers, and a good decision to make that substitution, just managing to slow things up enough to possibly make Grandvorka think a little too hard that time. Substitutions reverse then, back on comes Zwiderski, off comes Musalak, number 8, after his run out on the back line. David Murek then with the serve. Poles 14-15 down in this fourth set. Lakar going behind, and another great block. Zwiderski's fresh back on court, and he makes the kill.
Yeah, this is an important phase for the Poles. They know they've got a front row. They've got an injury here, possibly. Coach is on. Lakar appears to have taken an ankle over, and if that does happen, then there are real problems for the French. The setter who's been influential throughout. We did have some doubts about whether he would be a starter. Chambertin probably on his feet. You can see him there taking the substitution baton, and it looks like that's a bad one. Yeah, that's a bad one. We're going to find a situation, as you see some of the replayed action, where, well, for his attentions, Laurent Capet got that in the face, and there you see the inversion injury on the setter. Off balance, looking for covering of the ball, and just turns the ankle. That's a bad one. And well, the French have to settle now with a new setter. Transition option for the Poles out of back row, but that's a hit long. Again, substitutions all over the place for the French. They're trying to get some rhythm back. They've gone for the timeout to slow things down. We've yet to know how bad that injury on Lakar is. It looked bad. You can see his ankle inverted, which puts a lot of strain on the ankle joint. He's getting it taped, getting it iced, and this will have to be done quick. It couldn't have come at a more crucial point in the set. Everything beautifully balanced. The Poles, if they take this set, then they will go into the fifth. The physio, you see, giving it some attention. He's got 30 seconds at least for the duration of this timeout, and you can see by that reaction, despite the grin at the end, then I don't think he'll be playing too much of an influential role in the remainder of this match. So it comes on to Chambertin. Well, that's the end of the timeout. We're back on court. It is 16-15 to France. They have that narrowest of margins. It will be interesting to see whether the injury has thrown the French at all. They have the ball, which means Poles have the option of receiving and taking the point, and as of yet, Dequin has not served with any great conviction. And there you go, ball long, gives the point to the Poles, everything nicely balanced. We're back in this game.
Oh, Dequin there missing out. A relatively easy serve. You would certainly want your captain to be able to put the ball into court, but the Polish players didn't even have to pass that, didn't have to work for that. And this is the first time we've seen Michalczyk come onto court, and his arm obviously for his serve.
Yeah, looks left-hander. No, he's right-hander. Just interesting to see in the toss, but he's replaced Novak, and well, the ball's gone against them. Capet, very, very big point at a crucial time out of the back row.
You can see the quality of Chambertin though. Admittedly he had a good pass, but the way that he distributes the ball to the players most of the time, it just allows them the space to run. Controlled serve from him though. That means Poland gets the chance to attack, and Zwiderski does not waste it.
Yeah, he's going to go point for point from here on in. It's probably going to hinge just on one, maybe two bits of brilliance in terms of working behind the block. And is that first option going to be available for the Poles behind the serve of Andrzej Stelmark?
Stelmark then, 29 years old, 2 meters tall, the most capped player on the Polish squad. It's straight into the net, and that is a crucial error. That gives France the advantage, 18 points to 17, and they've got a good blocking line-up at the net, Nick.
Yeah, they'll probably take Graham Walker off here. No, Capet's coming off and Bakker is going on. That must put a lot of investment and trust in his blocking capabilities, because Laurent Capet, by no means at 2 meters 2 is he not a presence in the block.
Good Marquet then, number 12, serving for France, and he returns the favour straight into the net as well. And it's amazing, as soon as things get difficult, as soon as the points get close, the players seem to get really tight, Nick.
Well, don't you just see that? There were two crucial serves, both put into the net. Now Swiderski, he's solid, he wants the ball into court principally.
Good serve from him, great pass though from France. Again, Chambertin with the distribution options, but somehow Poland keep this alive. Good play, good judgment from Poland. That was dropping in the corner, and what a wonderful attack!
Oh, but leave aside the net play, which was absolutely inspirational. That judgment on that ball from the back row player, he was deep left side, not even facing the setter, delivered it into the slot, which opened up that combination. Brilliant, sheer brilliant.
And a few of the Polish players absolutely punching the air in delight after that play. You can see what this game means to them, and you can hear what it means to the crowd. Poland leading France 19-18 in set 4, and there's a confident play from Chambertin.
Again, the connection with the middle blocker, Bakker, the substitute, finding him nicely.
Good job from Bakker. Been sat on the bench for a long time, but does exactly what he's required to do in front court. Monmet then with serve, 18 all in set 4, 19 all in set 4.
Yeah, it was good work from the French. They put 2 players on the A-quick. They committed both outside and middle blocker. You can see the reaction of Graham Walker. It was a risk, but it delivered the transition ball, and that's really what we want at this stage.
Well, we've heard so much about Graham Walker. He does relatively little when on court. You don't see him doing a lot until crucial points, and when he's asked to come up with the goods, he just delivers every single time. Overpass again, and it's Graham Walker again, straight down onto the floor.
Oh, this is a terrible time. The Poles must call the timeout here. They must try to take the momentum out of the game.
Well, a huge stare from Graham Walker. Looks through the net at the Polish players as they leave the court. Spagnoli then, the Polish coach, deciding to bring his players off. He needs to psych them up again, he needs to get them going, but an unfortunate passage of play. The last couple of points just got a little bit sloppy, and that, in combination with wonderful play from France, Graham Walker, means that the French side push themselves into the narrowest of leads in set 4. A set, of course, that if they take means they win the game 3-1. If Poland can stay in it, if Poland can take set 4, they can take it all the way to the wire. A deciding 5th set. At the moment, though, it's Vincent Monmet. Stelmark spreads it wide, and that's a brave hit from Murek.
Yeah, crucial side out for the Poles, but you just wonder, you said that the server tends to get tight occasionally. In that situation, the weight of the serve was nothing, and they managed to take 2, possibly 3 points on that on the serve, which was effectively one that you could take overhand, and 99 times out of 100 you side out. It's getting very tight out there. The Poles probably have 3 serves from here on into the end of the game. If they sustain, if they get to that 3rd rotation, then they probably will have won the set.
Exactly the same position that Jaroslav Stanislavski found himself in set 3. What can he do about it this time? Wonderful pass from Graham Walker, but a bit of a mess on the set from Chambertin, and Decan just playing the ball into the net.
Yeah, just a little bit too much weight to the setter Chambertin, and if there's any doubt about his mobility, that he's penetrating in this situation, that's when he's going to be found out. He has to go in, turn and jump, and he didn't manage that one.
I think we probably saw there Chambertin not 100% fit, but again a major error. Poland do not make France play the ball at the most important time in the 4th set. Dacan, number 3, the French captain, next to number 13, Laurent Chambertin, on because of the injury to Olivier Lacar. What a huge hit, what an incredible defence by Hainaut. We'll have to see whether he gets up from that one.
Well, I hope he's fully paid up in his medical insurance there. He was right in the seam line when the ball came, but crunching through between the 2. I think he took it in the side of the head, and well, he'll have the maker's trade name on the side of his cheek for his troubles there.
Great work from the Polish players, great work in the French defence, so the Poles have got this into transition. Another chance for a kill. Good hands in the block though, and Chambertin scurries into position, but still no chance for the French to put the ball away. Murek with a wild swing. He's been solid all game and gets his chance to put the ball away and give the Poles a lead in set 4, and that goes way out.
Won't have a bigger point than that. He won't have a bigger point than that. To their credit, the French got 3 up on him, and that's a lot of lateral movement for the block to get 3 players up on that. But oh wow, that'll hurt.
Graham Walker then, staring eyes, focuses himself down on the ball, goes for this jump serve, 23-22. It's a cracking serve, but the ball spread wide, and Murek this time puts the ball down on the floor.
Yeah, that was, if ever there was an important side out for the Poles, that was it. It's again, they've probably got now 2 rotations, and the coach will be aware of that. LP coming back on for the French to try to strengthen things up. But the Poles now just have to concentrate on post-block defence. If they can get 2 balls up, then they're back in this game.
So we've come all the way through the last hour and a half of this game, and it's all coming down to just a couple of points in this crucial Pool 2 qualification match at the European Championships here in the Czech Republic. And a hitting error from France this time, well left by the Polish players.
Laurent Baquet out of the back line again. There was never even a suggestion that that ball was going to be in. It was well set. There was nothing in the Chambertin set that you could say was anything other than the option was on. But Laurent Capet hit fast and flat, maybe looking for the hand of a block, but it's out, just what they wanted.
Well, it's getting more and more exciting, Nick. That could be a crucial error. 24 points to 23 in favour of Poland, and that of course means the Polish get their first opportunity to take a set point and to level this match at 2 sets all.
Well, where do you go if you're Chambertin in this situation? He's front court, which means that he knows he's got Capet out of the back line, but Capet's just wellied one way above the block, and the middle blocker is not functioning particularly well at this stage, so odds would have it that it won't go to the can. Then if I was the Polish side, then I would strengthen blocking position number 2 and say that's where it's going, and let's win the set.
Well, there is that psychology that says if your player has just made a mistake, go to them again, let them make up for it. Exactly what David Murek did just a couple of points earlier, and it's Murek with the serve, and Murek wastes it, blows it out over the baseline, and Chambertin really living it up on court.
Yeah, didn't you see there that Murek, it was in the toss as much as anything else. The ball was thrown way too far forward, and of course now the players don't have the option of retossing the ball and queuing it for a second option, so he had to go with the hit.
Great call from Nick Smith, our technical expert here in the commentary box at the European Championships. The Polish fans doing everything they can to put the substitute of Fabrice Brie off his stride. With the service line though, Brie tosses the ball high in the jump serve, catches the net, and it's come back. Oh, Swiderski puts his hands together and praises the heavens, because that could have dropped over.
Oh, that was a nightmare. If you were in reception, their unit for the Poles, everything would have slowed down, and you would have thought, no, don't let it come. And it just didn't. Caught the tape, went back on the side of the server.
So another set point in set 4. This time Marcin Novak, the tallest player on court, with the serve, and that was a kill. Luc Marquet, 31 years old, one of the most experienced French players, putting the ball down onto the floor.
Yeah, lovely work in their hands though for Chambertin. Let the ball come to him, delayed the block just enough to open the seam. Well, you can't see who's going to come out with this side of this game. A terrifically well-balanced set.
There he is, 34-year-old Laurent Chambertin, clearly carrying a slight injury that's kept him off court for most of this game. Great pick-up in defence by Ono, the libero. Chance for French to score. Wonderful recycling from the Polish team. They go back line this time. A huge kill.
Oh, terrific stuff, because the Poles have blocked 3 players on the right side. There was virtually every player within a 2-metre square, and they opted for the back row. Wow, that was terrific play from the Poles.
And Piotr Gruszka back on court. Good substitution from Spagnoli, and he does what he does best. Kills the ball. Another chance then for Poland in this set. It's been recycled, a chance to kill, and it's off the hands, and there we go, Poland take the 4th set. The crowd go absolutely mad here in Ostrava. A mess in the middle from Chambertin to his middle player. The ball fed wide, and a chance to swing for Swiderski, and he gets it off the French blocker's hands.
Well, won't this be an intriguing final set? Absolutely intriguing final set.
well, I hope you're sitting tight in your seats at home and you're strapped in, because this is the roller coaster ride to decide this Pool 2 qualification match. It is a crucial game, a must-win for both of these sides. If Poland can take it, their hopes are still alive to go through to a semi-final berth. They'll still have to beat another few teams before they can get there. If the French can take it, then they set up a game against Italy tomorrow. And if they can knock the Italians over, the current world-ranked number 2 team, of course, the Italians, then the French too can take a semi-final berth.
Yeah, it'll be a question of thinking the unthinkable, but their attention will be very firmly fixed on this next 12 to 15 minutes. But yeah, that quite remarkable horizon does appear, where the Italians, if they go down to this French side, assuming they do close out this game, may not qualify.
Here we go then, the 5th and final set, France versus Poland, 2-all. Laurent Capet gets it underway. And the Polish team starts with an error, a straight hitting error out over the sideline.
Yeah, if anything, in terms of if you're watching this game, then just look at the number of unforced errors that teams make. That will determine the outcome of this match and potentially the semi-final place.
Well, that error going down against Piotr Gruszka, one of the better hitters on the Polish side. Capet putting some weight behind that serve. Feeding the back line to Swiderski, the reverse set. Stelmark goes middle again. This is glorious defence from the French players. And wonderful defence too from Poland. Wojcik with a flying, diving pickup. And that sets up the chance for Gruszka to kill.
Well, it's difficult to imagine the volleyball can get much better than that. Both teams totally committed to function in the various phases of the game. Excellent blocking from the French. You see 3 players go up. Just takes the inside hand, and despairing attempts off the post block. But, wow, what a rally, what an opener.
Well, Luc Marquet took a heavy fall there. Stayed down for a little time, but he's up and he's healthy. It's 1-all in set 5. Pass in from Marquet, goes to the outside, and again the speed that Chambertin delivers the ball at creates the opportunity for the French hitter.
Yeah, nice link between Chambertin and Graham-Walker there. But it was the Swiderski, interestingly, he took a little bit of weight off the serve, and that's what we're saying as we're leading into the set. What will be the compromise the players look for in terms of serve strategy? Will they go? Will they open up and really swing, as you saw Laurent Capet after he took the point, or will they take some weight out? Well, there's your answer from Graham-Walker.
Another great swinging serve, controlled by the Polish players, and a good hit from David Mulek. Just manages to work the ball off Dakan, the French captain's hands in the block. Chambertin there, number 13, communicating with his French hitters. He'll be calling a series of attacks out to let them know exactly where he's going to set the ball. But first of all, they have to deal with the serve of Stanislavski, and it's hit the net. This one's gone over.
Yeah, that's quite a time for an ace situation. It's heartbreaking for the receiving unit. The ball hit with a lot of top spin, so when it actually does contact the tape, it gains energy, whips across, and just drops dead in front of the receiving unit. Well, excellent option. We have to say fortunate, but it's good for a 1-point lead.
Stanislavski again, can he do that a second time? This time opts to go way over the top of the net, but goes way out over the baseline. A crucial service error from Poland.
So we've got a hitting error and we've got a serving error mapped up against Poland so far. So far the French have been faultless.
Dakan then with the float serve, and that's a good serve from him. Novak somehow forces the ball across the net, but Chambertin with the set outside to Marquet, and a great block to recover from Poland.
Yeah, they needed that. They were closed. There was a right side good set 2-player block, very effective, fighting at the net for any sort of transition ball. Chambertin goes outside option, Graham-Walker, beautifully set block, nice finish.
Gruszka it is then with the service for Poland. Good pass in, and that was audacious. A cheeky second ball tip from Chambertin.
Yeah, it pretty reflects the confidence of the man. He's a front row in that situation. He's in rotation too, which does allow that option if it's available. Block didn't go, and just a tip over for the point.
Chambertin, left-handed float serve. Better pass from Poland this time. Emphatic kill from David Murek. He is having a blinder in set 5.
Yeah, I mean the outside, you do rely so strongly on your outside hitters, both from the reception and in transition played, to hit effectively, but to hit powerfully and to finish rallies, which is exactly what you saw there.
Good pass then from Hainaut into Chambertin, and this time it's an error from Graham-Walker. Chambertin under a lot of pressure to save that ball in the set, but Graham-Walker making the hitting error on the sideline.
Yeah, that's one hitting error each. Interestingly, Chambertin going for the back row option for Granvoca. Possibly it wasn't needed. The outside is open. Yeah, that's where we needed it. And in Laurent Coppe's hand, he's a solid player so far.
2 sets all. We're into the deciding 5th set in this Group 2 qualification match of the European Championships. Luc Marquet with the service for France, trailing by 5 points to 7 after that service error.
That evens things up. 2 serving errors, one either side, and 2 hitting errors. Couldn't be better balanced.
Then the libero player comes off. It's Marcin Novak, the tallest player on court, 2 meters 15, serving for Poland. And a good kill this time. Kape choosing to just take a little bit of pace off the ball and get the defensive error from Piotr Gruszka.
This is a big point. The Poles will take it. If they take it, then they go round at the halfway point. They get a break in play after this at 8. If the French take it, then it becomes even more a crucial stage.
The team's then changing ends at 8 points to ensure no advantage in the ball, and a great block there from Granvoca.
Yeah, Granvoca was very dominant, very dominant in there. You know, it was not a well-set ball to the back set option, but Granvoca got round it, pulled it back, 7-all, and we still have the halfway point staring us down here.
And Samon-May with the serve for France. A wide ball distribution from Swiderski. What a kill for Poland to take them to the turnaround at 8 points to 7. Advantage in this 5th and deciding set. Round the teams go then. 2-all. And 6 minutes of this 5th and deciding set gone. And it's Poland that are 8-7 up. And you can hear the Polish fans really enjoying watching their team. Well, there's hardly anything to divide the teams. In total points scored, coming up on the statistics, it's 102 points for Poland versus 99 points to France, and that just shows in the totality of this match how close things are out there on court. Andrzej Stelmark then, the setter for Poland, serving the ball, trying to break the deadlock. They've picked up Decan through the middle for France. A huge reverse set and really well worked off the hands by Kape.
Yeah, Chambertin there, despite the fact he's looking at his setting hand, that was remarkably good. Everything was contained right side of court, so what do? You spray it 8 meters wide to a perfect hitting point and taking the point. Excellent work from the setter. But to look at him, you wouldn't think he was carrying an injury.
Yeah, why not? The Gallic flair there of Mr. Laurent Chambertin. 8-all then. 2-all, 8-all. The 5th set, and the Polish fans, couple of thousand of them packed into the hall here in Ostrava, doing everything they can to put Laurent Kape off his jump serve. And it's done nothing. What a serve from him. Stelmark goes to the reverse ball, and Dakan all over that one, but it's out over the sideline.
Yeah, excellent combination play there. Received it and finished it. Yep, working it off the block despite the French attentions. They're trying to convince the line judge it was in, but having nothing to do with that.
A little bit of afters from Swiderski, just shouting through the net there, enjoying his kill, and then comes up with the ace. What incredible mental focus from that man, Swiderski.
That we were saying about the importance of these crucial times, and now things will start to be broken up because the coaches will use their timeout options. They will use their substitution options, because at 8-10, the end of the set is not that far away. 2 points between them. The Polish side are well in the driving seat here.
Oh, Philippe Blanc, the one that calls the timeout. Timeout for the French coach, and he's called it because he needs to stop it here. The French players need to come back on, and they need to make this side out. On come the sweepers up with the brooms to get rid of any debris, any dust off the court. That's the last thing we need. Another injury. We've already had one ankle injury, of course, to Olivier Lecard, the French setter, and that means that this man, number 13, Laurent Chambertin, is on court for France. But it's Poland in the ascendancy. They've got a good blocking lineup, and they've got a great server in this man, Sebastian Swiderski. Straight into the net. Good timeout called by the French coach, Blanc, and Blanc, knowing that he can disrupt the rhythm of the servers with that.
Absolutely breathtaking. I mean, what a time to put the ball into the net. Swiderski was looking rock solid. 30 seconds on the bench, comes back and puts the ball into the net and throws the momentum very much back in favour of France.
Grandvorka then, one of the guys with the best serves, clips the net again, but Stelmark alive to that. They managed to get a block into the air. It's recycled for the Polish team. A little tip, and it's down, despite the despairing dive of Laurent Capet. A really clever change in tempo, a change in pace, and just a little finesse shot over the top of the block.
Yeah, but it gives the awareness of and the experience of André Stelmark in terms of that. The serve clipped the tape. Stelmark normally expected to have the ball passed to him, played the first contact, managed to put the counter-attack up, and yes, subtlety on the tip attack.
Well, Grandvorka, liability in the pass. He comes off, replaced by Ebb. He's going to try and strengthen things for the Stanislavski serve. Ball in to Chambertin, and again, that is an incredible set, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a beautiful rhythm and balance and delay in his technique, and he is the pick of the bunch in terms of if you put the French setters on a line, you'd have him as first pick. But it's difficult to understand why he's not been on court up until now. But I think the French will settle for a few of those, 3 more at this stage of the game, and it could be good enough.
Oh, Fabrice Brie, another service change. On he comes to deliver a jump serve. Off goes Dominique Decam, the French captain, and straight into the net again.
Yeah, you just got the impression that he held that ball up and he gave a little prayer. That's never a good sign when you've got a substitute coming off the bench at a crucial time like that. It really is tight, and it's even at this standard, even at this stage, in this situation, you really do find out players, and the subtle changes in technique, that's all you need. Slightly lower toss, service error.
Another tactical substitution being made. Off comes André Stelmark, and on comes Robert Zizabanyuk, 24 years old, 1m99 tall, so actually not as tall as Stelmark, but obviously Vispagnoli trusts Zizabanyuk with the block.
Yeah, I think they recognise the importance of Grushka's serve in terms of the next 3 rotations, which will probably be the end of the game, and he's got the strongest of the lot.
12-10 then, Poland lead, in it goes. It's a float serve just to make sure that it goes in court, so he takes the pace off it. That gives France the opportunity to kill, and a great set from Chambertin gives plenty of time for Monmet, and Monmet is starting to look the business in this game.
Excellent first tempo attack. He inside, cuts the ball inside steeply on the left angle on the diagonal, and here the French defence no chance.
France get themselves back in to within 1 point of the Polish score, 11-12. Good kill again from Świderski out of the back line, one of the smallest players on court, but somehow forces the ball through the French block. And remember, the 5th set is only to 15 points, so the Polish team get themselves ever closer to that magic score and an opportunity to take this game at 3-2. It's David Murek with the serve. Murek manages to deliver that one in court. Chambertin goes wide to Capet, and Capet makes the play off the block.
My goodness, what an extremely tight set that was. Grushka's noble attempt to try to get a hand under the ball just to recycle it into transition, but it's desperately close out there.
Well, forget the players. Who would be a coach at this time? Both Blanc and Vispagnoli are up and patrolling along the sideline, screaming out instructions to their players. It's Luc Marquet with the serve for France, the overpass, and Monmet just not looking at the ball.
Yeah, you just have to say that. You have to chalk that down to an error from Monmet. A little bit of experience. His responsibility there is to patrol the overpass. Didn't even go with what was the option, which was a front court setter, so he should have been active on that one.
Well judged by Stelmark, and that gives match point to Poland. The ball's up, there's the block, and they go down to the floor, arms go up in the air, the Polish crowd go mad. Poland have taken the match, this vital Pool 2 qualification game against France, a must-win game for both teams, and it's Poland that have done the damage, and they run out victors in that important 5th and deciding set, 15 points to 12. What a performance from them, and the French unlucky.